Firenze, the city of art, beauty, architecture and design. Well known for its history, the city is filled every year with visitors from all over the world to admire its beauty. But what if we dive deeper behind the curtain of Florence? What will we find? Florence is not a tourist destination of high level anymore. It's more like Gardaland. Nobody lives there, but everyone comes to visit. In Florence, everything is focused on short-term rent rather than long-term. There are a lot of Airbnbs, which makes it harder for people to find a place to live for the long term, and also for current tenants to keep paying rent, as prices keep on rising or the landlord decides to make its apartments into Airbnbs. On the surface, it's easy to assume that this is caused by tourism. The yearly average of tourists that come to Florence is between 10 to 16 millions, and keep on rising, creating a higher demand for housing. Is this truly the one and only cause? Florence has always been in a crisis since the early 2000s, as well as the rest of the world. But locals found a solution by investing into tourism. Easier to start up and with lower costs, and it is fueled by an important fact. Florence attracts visitors because of its historical structure. The majority of Airbnb and short rent owners already had apartments in the city center and decided to switch to small rent instead of residential. Little by little, everyone started doing it. Even industry owners started to close down their shops, as it was easier and less stressful to deal with compared to their firm. This also became easier as portals started to be created, therefore reaching more people. As a result, there was a boom in the market, making the price of rent rise. Still, citizens could live by cutting off costs from other things. But then the pandemic happened, and it broke what little equilibrium there was. Without tourism, there was no income, and therefore people didn't have any money. As a result, the locals that invested into tourism because they needed the money to stay afloat started to migrate into rural countryside, where houses were less expensive and the whole cost of living was relatively less, therefore creating both an economical and a peace of mind. Luxury hotels have always been there and made it so that the visitors coming in and out of Florence were limited. But with more small businesses rising, the demand rose, and other services started to rise. Shops had to close down, and instead bars and restaurants open up. Everything is spiraling out of control. There is a mass of business locations that have a lower quality compared to hotels, where to book you just need a portal. This brings another type of consumer, the tourists that stay for a couple of days and then leave, the selfie tourism. Some of these businesses even provide a cooking space, so tourists don't necessarily spend money on local products sold by locals, as locals are not even there anymore. Nowadays, there's nothing in Florence that characterizes the city. Everything is lost, from its identity to the local commercial activities. Everything was overtaken by tourism. This has not only happened in Florence, but also in other parts of Italy. And so, what do we do next? It's the big question.